If you remarry without going through the appropriate legal procedure, you can be charged for bigamy under the law. You can't just suddenly walk up to the court and say, see, I'm tired. There are grounds for divorce. It's always better to see a professional counselor. That is it. Not call your pastor.
Not a pastor.
I am sorry. I am sorry because I've seen pastors even create more problems in the church. A lady was telling me she was in counseling and the pastor was telling her that my wife kneels down every morning to greet me, and her fiance asked her, can you kneel down every morning? And I was like, this one is creating an unnecessary issue.
You love God, but you don't love your neighbor. How can you know God when God is love? We pretend, we hide under the fact that we are doing something with God. We are having a relationship with God. When the first relationship, the definition of our relationship with God is actually the relationship we have with people. What is the evidence that you submit to God? If God says submit to your spouse, your husband, and you cannot submit to your husband,
a functional home requires a sacrificial input of a father, a mother, and children. A sacrificial input in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Welcome to the Happy Family Podcast. I am Tokumbolo Ede, and I'm fondly called Uncle Tokes. This is proudly made possible by Prowess Pictures Limited. We would like you to connect with us on all our social media platforms, and we'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, comment, and also click on the notification bell so that you can get notified anytime we have newer content. Yes, we have our family members here. Happy people!
happy family!
But before we get to, introduce them, we will be going on a short break. Welcome back. It's still the Happy Family Podcast, and we're having a swell time here. Of course, our family members are here, and we are all happy. We're not faking it. We are not faking it. Yes, they will be introducing themselves very shortly. Let's start from, the beautiful and delectable, family member right in front of me. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's me. Hello, family members. It's your happy girl again. Your name Montessori, Cynthia girl. All right, today we are back to, have a swell time with you. Relax and enjoy with us. I believe you will learn a lot. It will be worth it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to add to that. You always say happy girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always says happy girl, and I think I like that. I just took note of it right now that you kept on saying happy girl. Yep.
Oh, thank you for joining us again. I'm having one Cinderella vibe this morning, so I wouldn't be shouting. So since Cinderella don't stress, Cinderellas they don't stress. So my name remains Olabisi, and I'm having that Cinderella vibe this morning. I assure you, you're going to have a lovely time watching us this morning again. Thank you.
Olabisi is the shoe. Your shoe is it complete? The shoe, the glass shoe,
Yeah.
the
It
shoe.
is.
Okay.
It's not with
The
anybody.
prince.
No,
The
no,
prince.
No, it's not with. No. He's here with me.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome. All right.
Papi Sam here, and it's always cool to be in this conversation. Happy people, happy family. We are happy people. Welcome. We are happy people. We are happy people. P-O-P-L. We are happy people. We make you happy. We are H-A-P-P-Y. P-E-O-P-L. We are happy people. We make you happy. No, that's it. Thank you. Amen. The emperor, the conqueror, the lion is here. Zabu, zabu.
I'm sure our viewers at home by now will be surprised that they have yet to see the lion, because I am not a lion. I'm just an ice cream guy. Mommy, please give me ice cream. So ladies and gentlemen, our viewers out there, we so much appreciate your support. All the the effort of you make by liking, commenting, and sharing our subscribing and commenting on our giving us the feedbacks. Your feedback is very important. It helps us to know what we are doing, what's impacting you, what really resonates with you. And this is a lot of encouragement for us. So we want to appreciate you. So we have also come today with another exciting episode, and I tell you, it's really, really going to be exciting.
Did the emperor just say there is no lion here? The way he spoke
lion would
now,
definitely
how did he
say,
speak? He
you
spoke
know.
like a lion.
Did I?
Yes, you did. You did. It's soft, at times lions just move around. They don't defend. I mean, their territory are self-defended.
Already.
They don't have to move around and try to. They just sit, relax,
so.
and the animals just flee,
The aura just fills the whole place, and
Oh la la.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, viewers, depending on where you're watching from and what time of the day you are. I'm Uluwayemisi. Today's show promises to be very insightful, educative, I believe, and interesting. I hope you enjoy watching us today. Thank you.
Man.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah,
My lord,
Welcome.
if I may I?
You may not, please.
I can feel how infectious the word happy is in this environment. Yeah. I mean,
say that
I don't know.
again.
It's a happy infection.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah, it's really, really good. All right. We have a beautiful topic, for us today, and it says divorce and separation in marriage. It's simple, but of course, divorce and separation is rife in the
I
society.
was happy until you mentioned that topic.
You can
Somebody
just
give me
imagine, Emperor.
I need a handkerchief.
Oh no,
It needs ash kerchief.
yeah,
Where's ash
actually,
kerchief?
this is a very, very, in short, it's a serious topic. It's rife in the society today. I mean, many years ago, it was something that we just heard, like sprinkles, drops. But today, it's in our faces. People are bold to divorce. I mean, and they are happy to.
It's
So
trending
for some
too.
people, it's now a way to become more successful.
Some people even put this in consideration before the actual
Before
marriage.
they get married, you can just imagine.
Yeah.
But that's what we are dealing with today. Divorce and remarriage in
And separation.
separation, sorry.
in marriage.
Thank you, in marriage. And the beautiful thing about what we are dealing with today is that we have a lawyer as a family member here.
My lord, may I approach the bench?
So I can look
not,
for trouble.
Okay.
The family, I can step out and look for trouble.
I love
have
that
a
phrase.
big
Oh,
sis
really?
who is a lawyer in the family.
You can just
No, I'm not on
imagine.
my own. I am not. I'll look for trouble.
I love that
She
phrase.
got me covered.
Okay, may I say this?
approach the bench?
No, the lawyer
My
is about
lord, may
to
I
speak.
approach the bench?
I coincidentally was ruminating over this morning. I just suddenly remembered the video I saw, and I was just thinking about it. Like, I'm coming from another viewpoint. I'll say it. The way I thought about it was that we readily offer grace to. How will I put it? Oh, let me say, we readily condemn things very easily. We make like, oh, a divorcee, oh no, divorcee, oh no. But sometimes when we or people that are very close to us are actually in a situation where they are embroiled, that is when we learn to offer grace that, oh no, this is just the way out. That is how will I put it? The society frowns at divorce in a certain way. The society frowns at it. Or let me say, I don't want to mention, let me just say the society frowns at it largely because it's just becoming common, really. So we've not learned to look at it deeply. Some people actually divorce for frivolous reasons, but sometimes we should learn to offer grace readily, not when it comes to the turn of someone that we know, before we can say, oh yes, people can actually say no, this is enough, this is the point where it stops. That was what I was thinking of this morning. But I think, Uncle Tox, I'll hand over to you before we go on into
It's actually the entire family,
some
you know.
people have genuine reasons for getting divorced.
Definitely.
But you know, so you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you know, before we go into the reasons for divorce, I'm sure there are, you know, a plethora of them.
All right.
I think we need to, for the benefit of our viewers, we need to explain the difference between separation and divorce. You know, we can take it from there.
Our learned colleague, give us a learned perspective.
Okay. I would like to say divorce is just the official process of separation. Like, you want to make this permanent. Of course, a separation can be permanent, but divorce is just, okay, I'm going through the legal route. I'm not just going my way. Because by law, if you get married under the Matrimonial Causes Act, you get married, you cannot just come tomorrow. I mean, you cannot just pack your load, leave the house, and then say, we are no longer together, and then I'm free to move on with my life. You are not free to move on with your life.
It's my life. I can move on.
No,
with my
you are not
life.
free to move on with your life. If you remarry without going through the appropriate legal procedure, you can be charged for bigamy under the law. You can be charged for bigamy, and it's an offense that is punishable under the Matrimonial
Who want
Causes
to
Act.
charge me? Police are minding their business. I'm minding my
It's
own
not the
business.
police. Your partner can actually take it up,
Lawyer.
and
lawyer.
it's actually.
Lawyer.
Is that
In
what?
this country, it's set to everybody. If you are right.
No.
It's set to everybody.
Let me explain this. The reason you said we settle everybody is because nobody really takes it to heart. You know, oftentimes when people just go through separation and they've been away for several years, they just feel like if the other partner is getting married, they just feel like, oh, let him just go his way, as in I'm less concerned. Or let her just go away, I'm less concerned.
Because they're already overwhelmed.
Yes, that is why you don't see, I mean, you've not really seen many cases on bigamy. But if you actually meet very vindictive partners that are like, oh, you've not divorced properly and you went ahead to get married again. Many men and women will be in jail, actually.
Very
Really.
true.
If you take someone to court, that guy is not coming back to marry you.
It does not matter.
Hey,
Because if a lady or a man is vindictive and they're just like, okay, well, I don't want to have you, but then you cannot just suddenly move on to your life. I'd rather we are stuck here together than you. There are some people that are like that. There are people that are like that are very vindictive. They don't want the marriage, but they actually mean that you are not going anywhere. You stay here.
you know what's also interesting? So what then happens if someone takes another wife while you are married? I had another husband. No, let's even talk about polygamy in our country where everybody is educated now and all that.
Let me explain this. There are different types of marriages. One, there's marriage under the Act. That is the one that people go to the registry, or some places of worship actually licensed to issue certificates. That's the registry certificates. They are licensed. If you've gone through the procedure of a marriage, some places of worship that issue certificates will tell you to go and register at the registry.
Yes.
Then you collect some copies of some documents, you take it back to the place of worship, and then they will give you and all. After that, what I want to say is that the marriage is registered under the Act. I'm not talking about a church certificate here. I'm talking about the certificate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okay, so that is marriage under the Act. There is traditional marriage. That's the one we call engagement in Yoruba land. I think the Igbos too have their traditional marriage. This one is not in any way formal. It's just, okay, families, okay, we exchange this, we exchange that. You pay the bride price, and then, okay, you can take your wife. That is traditional marriage. So now, if a person is married traditionally, there is no law that binds the person from taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wives. I've forgotten to talk about the Islamic marriage. It's not registered under the Act too. And so you see that they can marry up to 4 according to their own their own tenets of their own belief.
This customary marriage, the traditional marriage, is also called
The Islamic marriage.
No, the traditional marriage is
And
also called
it's
customary.
the same with the
Yes,
customary marriage, yes.
Then how about separation? What's now separation?
Separation is just okay. They have a fight, they are quarreling, or the marriage is no longer bearable. One person packs his load, or in fact, possibly deserts the other. That can actually
say
be a
estranged.
ground for divorce, desertion.
Okay, session.
When
Forefront.
when partners refuse to live together for up to 3 years, it can be a ground for desertion.
For the session.
Yes.
Then how about annulment? Because I've heard that word a lot of times.
Annulment of marriage is divorce now.
Is divorce abi?
Okay.
It's a divorce
word.
petition.
Final-
When it
okay.
gets to the final stage,
Okay.
and the court actually annuls the marriage, it is
It's
cancelled.
over. Oh.
That's the end of the marriage.
that's
Once the
annulled.
marriage is annulled,
So I want to ask this: can they still? Let's assume they want to come back again
after a divorce,
After the divorce, they realize that they still love each other, and they want to now
I'm
still
missing
go
you.
back to. They
Eh,
still now want to go back to the court. Would they still be allowed?
no,
to
if they
do that?
want to get married again, when a marriage has been annulled. Okay, let me say this before a
Maybe
marriage.
after some years.
Let me explain. A divorce process is not often. Let me say, it's not often what partners will just take themselves to court and within a year or two they are done.
Oh la
It's
la.
hardly so.
Okay.
There are many adjournments because the court also will tell them settlement, try this settlement, refer them, okay, go and sit, go and discuss again and all. Parties should try to settle. The court also encourages parties to settle. So before a marriage is dissolved finally, there's first of all a decree necessary. The decree necessary is just like, okay, you people are free, but it's not final. If within the period the court gives a decree necessary, the parties decide that okay, we can still get together again, the court will not stop them. After the final annulment, if they decide though that they still want to get married, of course they will just go and go through the process again. They don't have to approach the court. If the court annuls the marriage and they feel like, oh, they want to get married, that one is out of the jurisdiction of the court now. That one is their own private family matter. They can decide to get married after that.
But
They can
will
still
they
go
need
back
to
to
go
court
back to a court
to say they
for-
want to still get married under the
They'll
law.
go through the initial,
They can go.
that same
They will do
process
just the
in
same
beginning.
process.
Same process.
Yes.
So it's not like the court will say, you guys came last 4 years now, and we are
You
not
are wasting the
this marriage,
time
we are
of the
wasting.
court.
So they will not say that, right?
That one is no longer the business of the court.
Okay.
What did you call it? You said decree side?
Yeah,
What?
Nisai.
Decree side. I
Yes.
never heard it before.
Okay.
Uncle Talks. Everybody will learn from everybody.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of a family, you know.
Okay, Mama, you mentioned that the court normally gives other options of settlement, like
Okay.
they don't just divorce them or annul the marriage. What are the other options that the court grants to the spouses that want to divorce?
No, I'm not saying that the courts will give them other. How will I put it? What I was trying to explain is that the court does not just jump at it that, oh, you don't want to be together again. Okay, no problem. Everybody go your way.
Okay.
The court also makes effort. Like parties should the court will push forward for parties to go and try to settle amicably out of court.
Okay.
So the court can tell the counsel or lawyers to both parties, okay, you people should set up a meeting, try to meet and discuss how can you settle this. If settlement out of court fails, then they will come back, approach the court again that, okay, the settlement has failed. We want to proceed with this petition.
Okay.
And so the court allows them. Once the settlement has failed, the court will not force them that they must stay together.
So it doesn't look like the court is excited about people getting.
No.
going
No,
into
I know
divorce.
there are
It is
some-
not
there are actually
exciting
some-
before.
There are
Not
actually
ordinarily.
some judges that how will I put it, almost victimize lawyers. I had a friend that was working in a particular firm, and this the firm where she was working, her boss takes interest in divorce matters a whole lot. So
I heard it's very profitable.
she had appeared. Oh, of course.
I heard it's very profitable.
Of course. She had appeared in almost 10 cases for divorce. And the judge had to ask her that, really, are you really happy about this thing you are doing? She was like, that one is not my own cup of tea now. Just pay money.
He's making money
If you
now.
people don't want to stay together again, that's your cup of
That's
tea.
your wallow.
Really.
Now that you said it can go on and on for more than a year and so on, how expensive is it?
You will be paying appearance fee now. Every appearance you pay
Ah.
appearance fee.
Wow.
There are, how
To
will I
go
put it?
separate
There are
ways.
different ways lawyers charge. You can pay up front. You can pay. You can pay in bits,
So
but
if people are paying this much,
But
mentally,
I know that people.
stressly, if people are paying this much, why do people now still go for divorce? Because this
They
divorce
are
of a
angry.
thing
Okay,
is
let me
just
let me explain.
too high.
I don't think they considered. I feel that a lot of times people who get divorced, they don't think about the implication of divorce.
The full
Or the full implication. They just know I'm tired of this. I'm done. So on and so forth.
And
I feel these days
some
it's so
people could
easy
get.
for everybody
Some people
to
could.
say. I mean, people go with the mindset of if the marriage is not going to work, I'll go divorce. These days, I feel that's what people go for. Like they already have that mind that
that option is there.
If this thing is not going to work, maybe this lagbaja kuku divorce after 3 months. Nobody
Let me explain. You can't just suddenly walk up to the court and say, "See, I'm tired." There are grounds for divorce. There are definitely grounds for divorce. You can't just go to the court and say, we just got married 3 months ago. He slapped my face. I'm not doing it again. That is not it. It won't work that way. Even okay, anyway. Because one general ground for divorce is that the marriage must have broken down irretrievably. Broken down irretrievably. Not that it has broken down, but we can still mend it. But this one is irretrievably. Then when you say it has broken down irretrievably, there are other grounds, sub-grounds, that will culminate into an irretrievable breakdown. So for instance, adultery. Now when you are talking about adultery, it is not he cheated with that person yesterday, you kept quiet. She cheated with that person, you kept quiet. So maybe it's been cheating for like 3 years or 4 years, and you now have evidences or many times, and you're saying, yes, that's how we did yesterday. No. The court will say you have tolerated the adultery, and so you cannot come up and say it's a ground for divorce again. What must happen is that the moment you got to know and you have your evidence, it's not that I heard from someone. This is you have evidence.
You are causing trouble.
I'm not causing trouble. I'm explaining.
What about this? If one of the parties refuses to be a part of the divorce, okay, the woman is saying, I am done. And the man is saying, I am not done.
I still love you.
What happens?
Let me explain. If you come to court, a party comes to court and says, is not ready again for the marriage, and the other party is not, is saying is still ready. Now, there are two things. Like I said, the court will tell them to try amicable settlement out of court. If that does not work, the proceeding will go on. And most likely, eventually, the party that does not want to go will be allowed, that does not want to stay, will be allowed to go. The court cannot hold a person against his will or her will. If you have all the necessary, the necessary grounds have been covered. Nobody can hold anybody against his or her will in a marriage.
Emperor was talking about the costs. Is there like a range, or does it depend on the lawyer or the state where it's taking place, or the financial capacity?
Okay, let
of
me
the
say
parties
some
involved?
people get pro bono representation. When I say pro bono, that's like free representation. I think FIDA offers free representation in some cases. That's Federation of Women Lawyers.
On this
sorry.
matter,
Okay, FIDA is just a body of female lawyers.
Okay.
Internationally. So FIDA can.
I'm sorry to cut in. Do we have a body of male lawyers too?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to ask them. I've not heard of that. I've not heard of that. So FIDA can grant pro bono representation in some cases. You get in some cases. Then some lawyers do actually pro bono. Some lawyers do pro bono. that's for people that actually need the help, but they can't afford it. Then when it comes to the cost of whatever, you are the one that wants to separate, but you pay money. Your lawyer will have to do a lot of work. You get, so you have to pay.
Mama,
That's just
you
it.
mentioned something about for someone who wants a divorce and they've been tolerating a certain abuse or misconduct from the spouse, and then they now packed it as loads of evidence to the court. The court will not annul that marriage.
No, I am talking particularly about adultery.
Adultery. Okay, so it does
Singularly.
not span to
I'm not
something
talking
like
about domestic. No,
Thank
I'm not
you,
talking about
because I
domestic.
wanted to step into
I'm not
that.
talking. I'm
That's
not talking
a very
about.
important
I'm not
question,
talking.
eh?
I'm
They will
not
not
talking
say
about domestic
you've been
violence.
tolerating
Tolerating.
No,
domestic
I am talking
violence and
particularly about
adultery.
adultery.
Wow. Okay.
You must not have tolerated it and then come up and complain about it.
Okay.
It means that the instant it might not be the first time that person did it, but the moment you got to
get to
know
know.
about it is when you came up and said you cannot tolerate this. And so you must have evidence. It's very, very important. Especially, okay, I saw them together. Not that I just saw them in the room. They were sitting down. One person sat down there, or they were sitting in the hotel. That is, you caught them in the act. In the act. Yes. Or you have picture evidences of them in the act.
Okay. This question I want to ask, I almost in my head said it's a flimsy excuse. But I remember what you said when you said people don't empathize until it hits them. And of course, I'll be rephrasing it. But what about cases we've seen? I've read a couple of such cases where people give excuses that might, I don't know how to use, I don't know the exact word to use, that might seem frivolous. Let me use the word you used initially. That might seem frivolous. Like, for example, someone saying, I read one recently, maybe like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and she said he has been having sex with her consistently every night, and she's like her life was every night she's tired, so that was the excuse she gave to the court.
I think I've read many of such cases in the newspapers. The only unfortunate part of it is that I've not seen the conclusion of any of those cases. To be very candid, but I think there's one that I think a customary marriage that I think I saw the end, and I realized that they actually annulled the marriage because the woman was like, I can't cope. And I think that's practically what the court will do, because the person is saying this is a threat to my health, to my life somehow. So I believe, or let me say,
yes.
it is. If the person feels
Excuse me,
it is.
this life is not balanced. Some
The
people are
person
busy
can't cope.
complaining. Say, you cannot say,
The person
my
can't
man cannot
cope.
satisfy me. My man cannot satisfy me. You are busy complaining that the man
Because
is
we are not all the
satisfying
same.
you
We
over
are
and
not all
over.
the same.
She's
She's complaining.
She
She should
The,
die.
Say she
the,
should not
the
die
person
because
that
she
has
won't
egg
enjoy.
does not have cap.
Behind
The guy that has cap does not
She
have
should
cap.
die because she
Emperor.
won't
Keep
enjoy.
behind them, bro.
I'm behind
She's
I'm
not
behind
that
them,
person.
bro.
I don't know
We are
where I
all
am.
different.
She can't
You don't know where you are.
She can't take it.
My own thought is that, well, you should go and look for the person that can cope with that kind of libido. That is it. And I think that's what the court will think too, because you can't force a person that cannot cope to cope, except you want to kill the person. If the person is saying this thing is becoming unbecoming for me, you cannot say it must
That's
become.
better than adultery.
Uncle
So
Chokes.
It's better for them
I
to
see this,
actually go their
I
separate
see
ways,
that
so you
case-
won't have to commit adultery.
I see that
Which
case
is
sort
another
of
ground.
differently, maybe because of what I do. So when it comes to, because I've handled similar cases like that, when it comes to the case of addiction, and the partner says they can't cope and it's coming too much, the one partner
Are you
wants
sure
it
it's
everywhere,
addiction
every
or
angle.
high libido?
No, everywhere, every angle and all. And then when we explored, we realized that there was a very high level of addiction in display, and then we had to sort of work around it. Yes, But then again, I sort of interface with the divorce lawyers and stuff, and then I realized that most times there are so many divorce cases pending because people cannot afford the process. They'll just hang there. I've seen a case of 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I've been with senior lawyers that I would say,
Of course, it
that will
is.
say, let's just leave it
The
there
divorce process-
whenever
the
you are
divorce
ready.
process isn't-
I've seen a case of 12
isn't
years. They've been in court
so
for 12
easy.
years.
Are you sure
especially
they didn't make
considering
more
the cost.
babies within the 12 years?
I've read about
and
that,
then,
sir.
and then I've seen another case again that they really wanted to go on divorce, but after a year, the lady got pregnant. They went to court
I've heard
and the
that.
judge sent them out. Sent them out to
I'm the same man.
Or those who
And
went
some-
for-
Serious fellows. What are they still coming to the
hearing
court
and they
for?
went
No.
in uniform.
And the truth is, I know
The judge just send them out. I beg.
the truth is they went for settlement. Like they went to let's sit down and settle this thing. So in the process of settlement, they got settled. if you get the gist. Yeah. And the truth is they still want divorce.
They still want divorce.
And they still got the divorce. So it's just for me, I just feel that my concern is how do we work around these issues legally that a lot of people won't see divorce, because it's as if now people see divorce as an option, any small thing. And for marriages under 5 years old, because every year we would have to go to interface with divorce office at the ministry. Would talk, and then one of those days we needed them statistics, and they went like that in fact 80% of the divorce filings have been marriages under 5 years. I'm like, what happened? 80.